Now, once you've had your breakfast, this is where the fun begins because you will be taking Hello, welcome back to my channel and another video. Today I'll be looking back at a recent colonoscopy I had and I'll be taking you through the entire process and explain to you what you should expect if you're having a colonoscopy. But first, I'm sure you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like or a thumbs up. And make sure you check out my social media pages. All the links are in the description box below. And make sure to follow me on all of them as well. So let's get started. Once you've seen your IBD doctor, they may want to monitor the health of your gut, and the one way to do that is by taking a look inside, so they'll refer you for a colonoscopy. Your IBD team will send you your appointment letter in the post along with the lovely prep that you need to make sure your bowel is empty. But first, if you haven't had a colonoscopy before and are wondering what it is, to put it simply, it is a routine test that is used to look at what your intestines look like from the inside. And the way they do this is by inserting a long flexible tube, which is about the size of my little finger. So, well, it depends how big my hand is. So it's about the size of my little finger, and it has a camera attached to the end of it. And that just goes up through your butt, basically. And it will travel all the way around your large intestine to see what it looks like, and sometimes they may peek through what's called the ileocecal valve to have a look in your small bowel as well. It does sound very uncomfortable, but from personal experience, you do not feel a thing because you are given sedation and you hardly remember it, to be honest. I remember being in the room, having my colonoscopy done, and actually watching it being done while talking to my doctor, but at the same time I don't remember any of it. It's quite it's one of those weird out-of-body experiences which you just have to go through to understand what it's like. So 4 days before your appointment you can eat and drink normally, but you'll need to stop taking any medication that contains iron. This is because medications that contain iron turn your poo black and make it quite tarry, which can make it hard to get rid of, and if there's any residue or any poo left in your bowel, it can obstruct the view of what your bowel looks like when they put the camera up. So that's just to help get a nice clear view of your bowel. 3 days before your colonoscopy you can still eat and drink normally, still take your normal medications, but again not any medications containing iron. But you'll also need to stop taking medications that contain codeine phosphate or loperamide. Now, these two medications, they actually slow down the movement of your bowel and can make you quite constipated, which is very useful if you suffer from diarrhea. But constipation is the opposite of what you want for a colonoscopy. You want to get everything out. So that is one of the reasons why you have to stop those medications 3 days before, just to give your bowel enough time to adjust. Again, if you're unsure of what your medications contain or what medications you can and can't take, always discuss this with your IBD team and your doctors. Now, with a colonoscopy, you will need to follow a strict diet and avoid foods that contain fibre. So that means you're not allowed to eat fruit, rice, pasta, wholemeal bread, vegetables, crisps, anything that tastes good, basically. But you can still eat things like white bread, boiled eggs, and potatoes without the skin. And it's also important to keep well hydrated because you will be taking laxatives the next day. So that brings us to the day before your colonoscopy. You're allowed to have a light breakfast. The time you can have this will depend on the time of your appointment, but usually it's something at about 8 in the morning. So I would wake up early, I'd have my medication, and then I'll have 2 toasts with butter and 2 boiled eggs, and then that's it. You're not allowed to eat anything until after your appointment. Now, once you've had your breakfast, this is where the fun begins because you will be taking laxatives and you'll be spending the majority of your day in your bathroom. So the laxatives that I've been given is something called Citrafleet. So it's that, if you can see it there. And I'm also given these things called Senna tablets. Okay, 4 of them, just 4. That's all they've given me. So as I said, I would have my medication before breakfast, and it's really important that you do it before you have your laxatives, because there's a chance that if you have them afterwards, they may not be fully absorbed into your body. So the process that I need to follow for my colonoscopy is I need to take 4 of the Senna tablets at around 4 in the afternoon. Then about 5 in the evening, I need to take my first sachet of Citrafleet. So with Citrafleet, basically you empty 1 sachet in about 150 ml of water, mix it, and then leave it for a couple of minutes because it can become quite warm. What you can also do, you can make it the day before, or less than 24 hours before you're meant to drink it, and just leave it in the fridge. But it has to be taken at once or within at least an hour time period, just so it can work correctly. Once you've had your laxatives, there is nothing else to do apart from making sure you have access to a bathroom. Now for me, my last sachet has to be taken at 11 p.m. at night, so I already know that I'm not going to get any sleep, especially as my appointment is early in the morning. So let's fast forward and see what I went through.